Hey crafters, it's Janet with Crafting It Up in Creations coming at you today with a super special terrarium. Now many of these items are from the Dollar Tree and I'll go over a lot of them with you, but I have pulled a few things off of Etsy and AC Moore, and you can get some of this stuff from Michael's as well, or Joann Fabrics. So here is the terrarium that I made. I so love this. I had this idea in my head when I saw this beautiful butterfly. So this terrarium features an artist named Alison Merritt. She is on Etsy. Her shop is Dreamweaver Designs, and I'll link her information down below as well. But that beautiful butterfly, this is the little box that it came in. And I received this fairly fast. Now she's in Florida and I'm in Virginia, so it came up pretty fast. She will drill a hole in it, either in the top or both wings or in one wing, just depending on how you know that you want to put this on. Because you can, of course, put it on a necklace. The possibilities are endless, but look at the way the light catches that pigment. It is so pretty. Now I chose to put a bale on the back of it, but this is a little gift. It's a couple little buttons that were made from some clay too. They're super cute. Can't wait to use those. But I want to show you what I actually end up using in this. Now this is a terrarium planner. It comes from the Dollar Tree. It is plastic, which I actually like because this way if something happens, if it falls, I won't have to worry about the glass. The little top will actually unscrew, and you can use this clear plastic stretch cord, which you can even get at Walmart, that's used for jewelry, or you can use fishing line. Now this is bead landing transite stringing filament. You can use this or even fishing line. It's not going to matter. I just wanted something see-through. Now Dollar Tree came out this year with these fuzzy flowers and I absolutely love them. I really want to use them on a wreath as well, but I totally thought that it would look really good inside this terrarium planner, and I'm gonna cut off a few sprigs, and I make a lot of those pieces a lot shorter since I'm gonna put them in there inside of that. And I try to add a few different colors, but as you can tell, a lot of these have a lot of purple in them, and I love purple. So my little butterfly will be floating around some of these really pretty fuzzy flowers. And all of them just say greenery bouquet on them. I just got lucky and found a bunch at one of the Dollar Trees out of my area. Now this is copper wire. I was going to show you that it does come in 3 different gauges. There's like a 20, I've got 24 and 26 I believe. Nope, 22 and 26. As you go higher in gauge, it's smaller. And depending on what you want to do would be a reason to have the different sizes. Of course, the smaller the easier it is to bend. This is some Aleene's jewelry and metal glue, and I actually use that to glue the bale onto the butterfly. And this is just a pack of the bales. I got these for like $8 on Amazon, and it was just a huge pack of them. I honestly got them to use with some of the seashells I brought back from the beach last year. And I chose the smallest one that I could find in the container to use on that butterfly, because some of them have a really big loop on them. And then a little bell, and I end up using one of those. I just kind of added at the very end. I don't even show, but I just kind of slid it onto there. But these are just some different little things that I've made for my fairy garden using the wire, using some flower beads, and just some little dragonfly beads. And as you can see, this is a little lamp, but it's from Christmas. It has snowflakes on it. But nothing really complicated about it. I want to do another video and show you how I made some of those, and I will do that in the future. You can buy this floral moss at the Dollar Tree. They have different ones. This is a mossy matte peel and stick, and I'm just going to use a piece of it to put on the very bottom. But it's from Michael's. It's kind of expensive. It's about $13 for this pack, but I've used a good bit of it so far. But it's nice because you can cut it and peel it to the bottom. And I'm mainly doing it so that I've got something for the hot glue to set on so it doesn't melt the container. Here are some floral rocks that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I use the smallest one out of here, but you can cut it in half because if you're going to kind of lay it down on the ground, you're not going to see the white part, but it's just foam in the center. And then they have this other moss collection as well. You can get this at any of the craft stores actually. And I love this stuff because it's kind of like springy, foamy, spongy feeling. I love it. And it has like a certain smell to it, which I don't mind, but it's definitely different. And then this is a plant hanger. You can actually use this to hook onto a pot, so you can make it a hanging pot. And I'm going to use one of the chains out of this to hang up my terrarium. I'm kind of trying to span out so you can see. It's pretty long, but I'm going to hang this in my kitchen at the window. And I thought this would be good to hang it with. I did get these chains originally to do some craft show stuff, to kind of like hang stuff from it. Now this is Nicole's Bead Shop. These actually came from AC Moore. I have not been able to find these type of beads anywhere else, but I love these flowers. I have so many things on my Pinterest board to make earrings using these flowers. It's unreal. They're so beautiful, and I'm gonna make me some, but for now I'm gonna use this for the terrarium. But I wanted to show you what they look like. This was a set that came with 3 different sizes of these flowers, and I decided the larger one was just too big for the terrarium. It just kind of was too offset. Now I'm going to use my Surebonder detailed glue device, and I'm going to cut a piece of this moss out. I kind of go off camera here, but I just cut out a small square. I'm going to add stuff around it so it doesn't even really matter. But like I say, I'm just using it so that I can have something for the hot glue to set on. Otherwise, it's going to melt my plastic. If you were using the glass, it may not matter as much, but I am going to show you. You peel it off, and it is really sticky. It even sticks to the side as I try to stick it in there. Now I'm going to lay that down on the bottom. I didn't even realize the lid of that screwed off until it fell off just right there. And I was like, hey, now that's cool. So I pulled it out for a little while as I was setting some stuff in there. And I just push it down into the bottom of the terrarium. And this rock is one of the bigger rocks. It was one that I had out by itself, but I decided to pull out and use one of the smaller ones. But I just want to give some of the stuff some height on that side. So I end up adding some hot glue to that, and I'm going to show you, even though it's got some distance between it, it's still, you can still tell where it was hot. Now this is some more of the moss that's in the purple, and I decided just to kind of add it in there together because I thought it would add a little bit more variance of color. And this Mod Podge, you can get this at the Dollar Tree as well. These smaller bottles, they sell it in the matte and the gloss. Really doesn't matter what you use in here because you're not going to see it. We're going to cover it up. So I'm honestly just going to stick it in there and spread it all around. And I end up taking just a paintbrush and kind of smoothing some of that down and around. I just want my moss to have something to stick to. I don't want to use all the hot glue in there. But I do want this to be permanent. Now just kind of stick it around and put some of that purple in the back, and I even end up sticking a little bit of purple in the front later, as you'll see. And so there's my moss. Now I just go ahead and use the cording that kind of has that stretchy feel. You can make the stretch bracelets with it. And I just tie a knot at the top of the butterfly, and I just do a simple knot, and I do it twice. I don't show it twice, but I do it twice. And then I'm gonna feed it up through that hole that's in the terrarium and wrap it around the part that screws on that terrarium. I'll cut that excess off, but I'll wrap it around that part there and then tie it in a knot up at the top as well. And I kind of play around with it a little to see where I want my butterfly to kind of land. And when I add my flowers later, I have it to where the butterfly kind of rests on them just a little. But at least if the terrarium kind of moves around with the airflow in the house, or even if you'd have the window open, then he's going to kind of look like he's hovering above the flowers. And one other thing that you could do with this is if you had her even drill a hole in the bottom and left the hole open, you could put wire down in it and stick it in, you know, to the little rock as well too, or my little moss rock. But I'm going to put in, and I just kind of bunched about 3 of them together. I must have not recorded that part, but I just cut 3 stems and kind of put them all together. And one's kind of the little yellow piece, and one's some of the little purple flowers, and then I used one of the sprigs. And now I'm going to add another little pink piece that's in there and just kind of line it up with all the others. Put a little hot glue in there. I'm just going to hold it in there until it sets. And then I decided I want a little something over on the other side, so I cut a little smaller pieces. Again, these are only about half the size of what they are on the stem, and I can always use those other pieces, of course, for other things. But I just do what I think looks good. I don't have any thoughts on that, except for to tell you that I know in card making they say groups of 3 are good, you know, that are appealing to the eye. But since this is kind of inside the terrarium, I don't really go with that idea, because I grouped just several different colors. And I thought this all looked good together anyway. If all these flowers were bunched up into a bouquet, I think they would look perfect. And so I do add some of the little greenery along with the colors. And I just kind of stack them in there. Put a little hot glue there and just hold it in place until that dries. As you can see, some of that moss has come off of that rock, so I just put a little hot glue in there and attach the moss into that area and just kind of fill it in, and that'll hide any of those little imperfections. But I definitely had this vision when I bought this beautiful butterfly. I actually planned to hopefully buy another one. There's some other ones that have different colors that she has in her shop right now, and they're so pretty that I'd love to do a necklace with them. So here's that copper wire again. I kind of slowed this down because I just like flittering showed it, but I'm going to use these wire cutters and then these pliers to make a little piece to go inside of the terrarium, and I'm going to dangle one of the little flower beads off of that. So I've unwrapped it, and I'm going to cut a small piece of the wire off. And Dollar Tree has some wire cutters too in their floral department, and they work fine. I just make crafts, and all my jewelry stuff is upstairs right now. So I'm going to take this small piece. You could take a pencil. I'm just going to use a a paintbrush and I'm going to wrap it around just to give the wire a little fun look. I'm going to pull it off, and of course you can pull this further apart and you're going to have that really neat, you know, design in it. And then I'm going to take the very top of this and I'm going to make a P. Now I grab it with my pliers and I try to wait till the camera even focuses on this so that you can see it real well. But I kind of just roll my wrist about halfway around, and I pretty much have to take it out, and you can see it's about halfway. And then I'm going to put it back on the very tip of that, and I'm going to finish rolling it around until I make this P. And if I were going to hang it, I would actually go to the base of that and pull it back, and I'll show you how I do the flower part here in just a second. But I'm making sure that the length of this, or the height of it rather, is gonna go in there and not be in the way. And actually it was, where, you know, I could have went down with it. Now this is where I thought I was recording the flower, but I wasn't. But I'm going to show you how I did the end of the flower. So I take the very end of it, and I'm just going to wrap that wire all the way around, and so you're going to get a half until it touches. And you make a P. And when I first started doing this, I actually used to read the stuff and then try it. So it does take a little practice. And then you go at the base and pull it back, and that gives you your hang. And that's how I did the top of this flower. It was kind of hard to tell anyway, just because, you know, it all kind of goes in together. But there's my top, and I'm going to hang it onto this piece here, and I end up having to open it up just a little bit more. And I do hang one of the little small bells from it, but of course it already has an opening in the top, and I just kind of just put it on there. And this goes out of focus a lot, as you can tell, but I try to make sure that it goes into focus when I'm trying to show you something important. Yeah, I think it just adds a little something to it. And I've added several of these to my little fairy gardens as well. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue just to the bottom of this, and I'm going to stick it down into my moss rock, and then I'm going to add a little bit of moss at the edge of that just to kind of hide where that's going, so you don't see just the hot glue sitting on top of it. And it stays really well. Like, I didn't see even any of the flowers really, you know, moving over or anything. And I add just a little bit more so it's hot again, and then add a little bit of moss right on top of it so that it'll hold. And that's basically all that I do for the actual terrarium. Now I do take the planter pieces, and I'm going to take 2 of the chains off of here. Like I say, I can use those for anything. They have that clip at the bottom of them, but I did have to kind of pull apart this piece to get those off of there, and I barely moved it, but it was just enough. This is strong stuff, but it was enough where I could get those off of there, and I didn't worry so much about it being open some, because it's going to be hanging on my curtain rod and down at the sink. And again, the artist's name is Alison Merritt, and she's on Etsy. On the drop box down below, I'll have all her information so you can go check out her shop. She has beautiful, it's a dichroic glass like pendants. She's got butterflies, she's got dragonfly wings. They make me think of even fairy wings, and you know, I love all things magical, of course. And she has some homemade beads, pendants, bracelets, all kinds of things. But here's one last look at the terrarium. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button as well. That lets me know to keep these types of videos coming along. And after you hit that subscribe, if you hit the bell right beside it, that'll notify you each and every time I upload a new video. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I do hope you all find a time out of your day to craft it up. Take care. Again, thanks for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye.